comic books made more sense. You know it is fictitious without pretense.
Hi all, today I thought I'd take a look at Marvel Team Up number 74 from 1978, Spider-Man and the Not Ready for Primetime Players, which is the cast of SNL back in 1978. It's Dan Aykroyd. Actually, let me point them out here. So it's Dan Aykroyd, John Belushi playing his samurai character on the show at the time. Jane Curtin. That looks like Jane Curtin too. Garrett Morris. Garrett Morris, you may know him from all sorts of stuff. He was on Two Broke Girls as well. Bill Murray. Laraine Newman. Gilda Radner. And Lorne Michaels is not on this cover, but he's here. And he's unrecognizable in this comic because this is such a long time ago. I only know Lorne Michaels as the old guy with the white hair, who's fairly sedate and everything. So in this issue, they all fight Silver Samurai. Live from New York at Saturday night. This is not a great issue, but it's famous because of the fact that Saturday Night Live is in it. I think this was written by Chris Claremont. Here's an ad for Bad News Bears Go to Japan, a 1978 blockbuster for that summer. I love the Bad News Bears, man. So and that Go to Japan movie was pretty good too. So here Peter Parker is taking Mary Jane out to Saturday Night Live. They had waited a year to get tickets, and they're going, but it's a rainy, stormy night, and they're late. They're running late, and they make their way in. Now, behind the scenes, this dude is the Silver Samurai without his silver armor. He's I've always known him as an X-Men villain, but he's been around in Marvel. They did a terrible rendition of him in that Wolverine movie where he goes to Japan and he fights a kind of robot thing that's supposed to be Silver Samurai. Backstage, all of the cast members are laughing at John Belushi, sorry, as he was given a ring by accident and he put it on and now he can't take it off. And this ring is, of course, mystical and special, and it's the thing that Silver Samurai is after. So Silver Samurai, he hires a whole, it's just like 13 or so people here, or 14 or so, and he's like, okay, get the ring at any cost, like whatever, man, I don't care. And here's some ads for I think it's like selling items and stuff for money. Or Slim Jim, way before Macho Man Randy Savage took the advertising campaign of Slim Jim to new heights. Everybody loves Icy, so these are, I guess, like slushies, basically, with slushy toys and stuff. This polar bear, I think, was totally redesigned later, because that's not familiar to me. So here's the big splash page, and yes, it's written by Chris Claremont. Bob Hall is the penciler. Mary Severin is the colorist, and also the inker of this as well. And Jim Shooter is editor-in-chief. So in this scenario, the host of Saturday Night Live, the guest host, is Stan Lee, which would never have happened. And he's like, oh, you might remember me and know me from Marvel Comics and all that stuff. Here some dude is flirting with Mary Jane. I thought they were on a date. Like, what's she doing? I hear you, Petey. I was just admiring the scenery. Anytime, my dear. The pleasure's all mine. What the hell are you doing? So here's the entire cast here. Here's some standees of different Marvel characters. Here, for whatever reason, is a cameo from the Muppets. This is Statler and Waldorf in Marvel realistic version. One guy says, "Will you two kindly sit down? Statler and I came here to see the show." And it's like, that's telling him, Waldorf, you old coot. Like, that's awesome, because I love the Muppets. Just random like cameo by Statler and Waldorf. I don't know why, but although Waldorf's wearing glasses here, but anyhow, here's more crazy, like, the ads used to be very trashy and capitalize on kids, especially boys, insecurities and stuff. It's like, get bigger muscles, like how to be taller. It's like, how to, find a job and all this stuff, right? So Stan Lee's like opening monologue sucks, and like Chris Claremont can't write anything daring or risque because it's a Marvel comic, and it's not funny anyways. It's like, he tells like, like Thing jokes and stuff, and like Thing tells him he feels a little rocky. Like, what? It's all dad jokes. Back in the day, they used to do things like this where they'd pick out an audience member and have a little caption at the bottom that was kind of funny and poking fun at them. And so they don't do that now. But that was a typical thing they did in SNL in the early days. So Peter Parker gets caught as he's trying to leave to fight Silver Samurai because he knows something's up. Someone's been attacked behind him. So it's a superhero in his spare time, which kind of nails him. But anyways, he then turns into Spider-Man. And they're still fussing with this ring that's stuck on John Belushi's finger. Spider-Man, his spider sense is tingling. He looks into the control room and he sees nothing wrong, but we see that there's like guns and stuff and people tied up, but he can't see that. Here's a house ad for Marvel Specials. That's the Silver Surfer, the big like graphic novel that reunited Jack Kirby and Stan Lee. And here's the Hulk and Best of Spidey Super Stories, which is the easy reader stuff. And here's a Daisy ad. Back when you can advertise that kind of thing, like buy your kid a BB gun. So yeah, so here's Silver Samurai in all his glory. That's supposed to be Bill Murray. So Bill Murray is gonna go undercover now. So he thwacks a guy with the Thor hammer. That's cool. It's like a fake hammer, and he disguises himself as that guy to go undercover with these guys to see what they're doing. Meanwhile, they're doing a weekend update, which has always been a thing for SNL. Here's a really good likeness of Gilda Radner. So she disappears because they cut a hole underneath her, and so does Jane Curtin. That really looks like Jane Curtin too. So they capture them, and then Spider-Man rescues them and fights Silver Samurai a bit. And Gilda Radner tackles Bill Murray basically without knowing that it's Bill Murray. So that kind of doesn't look like Bill Murray, but anyways. Fun fact about Bill Murray and Marvel, in the 70s, probably before this comic, they did a radio version of Fantastic Four, and Bill Murray played Johnny Storm. So here, Laraine Newman was a cast member on SNL back in the day. She dresses up as Miss Marvel, and she says, the fighting fury, superhero sensation of the 70s, sheesh. I don't know, maybe she is as good as the media hype says she is. So Miss Marvel was Linda Danvers, and of course now she's Captain Marvel. But anyway, she dresses and she looks exactly like her, and these guys are like, the bad guys are like, we're not gonna fight, an Avenger. But then she throws bottles at them, like, why is she throwing bottles if she has all this power? And then Spider-Man comes and rescues her. So all the cast members team up and they're like, we gotta find John Belushi. And obviously that ring has something to do with all this. So they all dress up as different characters. And Garrett Morris dresses up. So Thor comes, and it turns out to be, and here's like more ridiculous ads, and here's some subscription offers. Garrett Morris dresses up as Thor, and the henchmen are like, "Hey, something's screwy here. Ain't Thor supposed to be Swedish? This dude's black." And then he's like, "Oops, great idea for a skit, Dan." But really, so Dan Aykroyd came up with all this, but really lousy when you're trying to bluff a crook. And he's like, "Varlets, know thee not a warrior of Asgard when thou seest it." So he totally gets into it. Then they electrify all of this, pretending that Thor is doing it. And everyone else dresses up in zany costumes and stuff. And of course, John Belushi is his samurai character. So Silver Samurai then fights John Belushi, and somehow doesn't kill him. Now I think that's supposed to be Lorne Green. More trashy ads. This is chock-a-block with trash. It's like, got muscular arms. I'm selling skateboards and blah blah blah. Star Wars belt buckles. Here's this crap I never participated in. I think you sell things for points and redeem the points for these weird things. So Jane Curtin and Stan Lee are doing a jig on stage to stall because things are going wrong. All their schedule's all messed up by all these attacks. And the SNL cast members, get rid of the last remaining henchmen with fire extinguishers, and Spider-Man has to fight Silver Samurai and save John Belushi. And here's the bullpen bulletins and Stan Lee making another crack at denigrating bigotry and stuff. And here are different items of things coming out. Here's a little item about Star-Lord. Star-Lord was more of a science fiction adventure sort of Flash Gordon, Buck Rogers type of character. Those stories are great. They're very imaginative. They're fun, adventurous. Nothing like the new Star-Lord. But I know that's very popular with people from the movies. From the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. So here's where's this Hostess cakes and baseball cards. I guess were packed in the boxes back then. That's cool. So they defeat Silver Samurai, but he gets the ring, and apparently it's some sort of teleportation thing, and he teleports out of there, and that's it. I don't know why they couldn't just give it to him, or he just that's my ring. Can you give it back? And that's it. But no, they had to do all this bull crap. So here's the entire cast here. Garrett Morris is still wearing the Thor outfit, and later on they're all in a bar. And apparently, Mary Jane, so Pete says to her, "And you say the guy sitting beside you suggested what?" And she's like, "Let's just drop it, okay?" So I don't know what happened there, man. But Pete, of course, missed the entire show, because he was out gallivanting as Spider-Man as everything happened. And you see John Belushi and Garrett Morris having a drink, and then John Belushi makes a silly dad joke at the end, like, "What are we going to do for the spin-off?" Because of the web spinning or whatever. And there you go. It's not a great issue, but I've read this several times because it's fun to see this weird crossover thing. They did this a lot. I know Marvel did this a lot where Spider-Man would team up with the Dallas Cowboys or something. It's fun. And the likenesses are great for some people, not great for others. that looks like Dan Aykroyd in the costume. You know, Gilda Radner, they nailed her. But for the most part, like, I think that's still supposed to be Lorne Green. I don't know. You know, Stan Lee, I mean, his likeness is pretty good for back then with that big toupee and, you know, and all that stuff. So there you have it. Superhero sweepstakes, a bunch of cheap prizes that you'll be disappointed with when you get them. Here's more prize. There's a lot of these trashy like prizes and cash for prizes and stuff, all over the place here. And here's an ad for gliders. So there you have it. That's Spider-Man teaming up with the cast of Saturday Night Live in 1978. Take care.